morning, everybody. Thanks for coming. Laura is unable to make it today, so we have
Chris.
Lovely Chris here that's pretending to be Laura, but she's going to be giving us some information on the census and other things that are going on. And Sarah was really excited about coming again. She just called me when I was outside, and she had an incident that she had to work on, so she wanted to say I'm sorry. So Chris is going to start.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Chris Roybal. I'm the Marketing Director and Film Liaison for the city and Film Liaison for the county and the village also. And the things I would like to talk about today is the 2020 census. The census will begin in March. You will receive a postcard in the mail. The difference in the census this year is that you can do it online, by phone, by paper, or a census worker will come to your home if you don't respond in one of those ways. The data will be used for how federal funding comes to our area. It is for communities for roads, transportation, education, pre-K, hospitals, Medicaid, food stamps, and other needs. The number will provide a snapshot of each state as to how many people are in each state and each region. The most undercounted individuals during the census are normally minorities, children, homeless, and residents who move frequently. A little over $440 billion are distributed every year, and that's 90% is calculated off of the census. So if we have 5 people that are not counted in our census, that equals to $330,000 per year that we will not get in funding from the federal government. We were undercounted in Cibola County in the 2010 census by 26%. So we had a large amount that were not counted. Things that we are also doing this year, we'll be going to the outlying communities to help them with census. The areas that don't have internet service, we're hoping that we'll be able to get internet service to them for them to partake in the census, because a lot of those areas don't have phone service either. Another thing that we're hoping that we'll be doing, the Grants Library, the Senior Center, the county, and hopefully New Mexico State will be opening up their computer labs. And so if people need help filling out the census online, they can come in, and the librarians or the county employees or whoever will be happy to help them. Any questions on the census? Yes.
Do you know why they were undercounted?
Sporadic. I think
It's sporadic, and the outlying areas are, may not get the word. We did designate other outlying areas this year as key areas to be counted. The Fence Lake area had 46 people counted the 2010 census. Now the county has issued an additional
299.
Yeah, 299 address points.
So that means 299 new address requests. So people are purchasing land. So that's it. If you think about it, 46 people, but we added nearly 300 property owners that have their own physical address in Fence Lake. So
Yes.
How do the homeless register if they don't have their address?
Well, you don't have to have.
You don't need to be registered.
Well, how are they counted is what she's asking.
Oh.
And
Because that's people that I'm working with, and you kind of like move from house to house to house to house. You know what I mean, among each other.
what they would do is use the address that they had on April 1st. And so wherever they stayed, it could be at the outreach.
Yeah,
That could
that's
be
where I'm
used.
at.
That could be used as an address.
How are they going to receive the information?
They're
to-
not. That's why it's going to be important
Is
for.
there any way that I can take it into there, because I know most of them myself?
Mhm. Yeah, we
So
can.
I
We
mean,
can.
like, I could take a packet, and it's like, hey, you guys.
Yeah, we can
and this is
definitely help you
important.
with
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
we'll
I see
have.
them during the week.
We'll have more information on how to reach out to the homeless,
Yeah.
and also how they will count the inmates, because the inmates do count in our
Oh.
census, and also people that are in Good Sam and that type. I'm actually going to a training after this in Albuquerque today on the census.
Yeah, because then there's women at
Mhm.
the house,
Mm-hmm.
so, and I'm going out there too, so.
Okay, great. Yes, ma'am?
How are you fixed for employees? Have you handled a lot of applicants, and there are a lot of people applying for these census jobs?
No, we're very low.
Yes, we're very, very low, and we were just informed last week that they have raised the minimum wage for the census workers in our area up to $16.50.
So where can we get an application to do that?
Has
You-
to go through the census.
Yes, you go through the census, you can do it online. If you want to stop by City Hall, I actually have some flyers out, and I will be taking some also to the library and the college.
Do you, is a vehicle required? I imagine so.
Yes. Yes, and you go through a very extensive background check also.
How
Yeah.
many people do you need and how many people have you found to do this work?
Are we 50%?
I'm sorry?
We filled 50%.
Right.
Only 50%.
Yes, and I'm not sure what our overall number was. We haven't been told.
Yeah, we don't really have that, we're
Yeah.
not in that sort of planning stage. We're the ones
Right.
that are assisting them, I guess, and trying to
Right.
get the word out.
Right, the government is the one who does the actual hiring. We don't do any of that hiring. We will be hiring someone to help go to the outlying areas, and we are doing marketing through Facebook. Also, we're doing marketing by handing out information at different events. This weekend I'll be at, someone will be at the Festival of Wreaths. I'll be at the Recreation. I'll also be at the photo at Diamond G for the animals. So we are actually physically going to those areas.
How long does the job last?
It probably would end in June or July is what we've been told, but we can't be for certain. That would be something the Census Department would have to answer. And it'll begin probably in March. Any other questions? So I also wanted to let people know kind of some of the things I'm doing in our area for marketing to bring more tourists. Hopefully people will fall in love and move into our area. We're going to begin sending out email blasts. I have 2 different advertisements where I get email addresses when people register for information on our grants in Cibola County. And at this time, I have about 26,000 email addresses. So we're going to send out a quarterly email blast to all of these people, and of course this number will grow and grow because I get new email addresses every week. I get on average about 150 email addresses a week from people who have requested information from our area, which is wonderful. And we'll be sending out these email blasts. I don't know if anybody gets the Red River or Ruidoso blast, and you get they actually send out monthly because they have so many activities going on in their area. But it'll say what's going on. Like this weekend we have the light parade also. And so, it'll say, come to our light parade, come to our arts and crafts fairs, and it'll be a lot of fun, I think, for people. And hopefully, we get a few people in here, which will be really nice. Any questions that anybody has about some of the marketing we do and where we market? The places we do market is throughout the United States. Also, this year we're marketing in France and Germany. And we have a lot of visitors that come to the mining museum from France and Germany, and that's why we chose those two countries. And then the next I wanted to talk about was film in Cibola County. I've had quite a few phone calls in the last month, interest in coming to our area and wanting pictures of locations and things. I cannot stress enough how we need businesses that are going to be film friendly, also locations. And if people would like to list their business or would like to list a film location, they're more than welcome to contact me, and I will be happy to help you in doing that. Most films are requested by the state, or they could be requested by me to give back to our community. It could be either giving back in giving a speech at the high school or one of the schools about film and the history of film. Also, it could be monetary. Better Call Saul gave season 4 production gave $68,000 in this state. New Mexico State grants got 11,000 of that, which was really nice. The Creative Media Technology Department, New Mexico State in Las Cruces, in Carlsbad, they got 23,000. North New Mexico College in Espanola, their Film and Digital Media Arts got 11,000, and San Juan College in Farmington got 23,000. From 2010 to 2015, for every job that was, not for every job, for all the jobs that were generated, for every $10 million that was spent in a location, it produced $150,000 in tax dollars to that area. Roy, New Mexico, they had a film that was filmed up there, and it brought in $6 million in tax dollars to that area, which is fabulous for that area, because if you've ever been there, there's nothing there.
And does that money go into the general fund, or how is it used?
Yes, it would go into the general fund. Yes. Film tourism is getting to be a really hot topic here in New Mexico. Albuquerque gets thousands of visitors because of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Thousands. They're estimated there were over 100,000 tourists in the state for the film industry last year, which brought in $10 million to our state, which is great. I am working on a film rack card that will list where films have been filmed here. Our first film was filmed in Laguna in 1914, and that film was called Romance of a Pueblo. And we did just with the National Park Service and Double Six Gallery, they did a showing of Ace in the Hole a few months back. Don Gray from the film office came down and talked about the film, and he knew a lot on the film, and it was really interesting to see our area and where it had also filmed at Laguna. Parts of it had filmed at Laguna, and it was really interesting to, oh, I know that place, I've been there, and that was a lot of fun, and we had a great turnout for that. It was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it. Some of the fun facts is that the film industry can bring business to our area because they need everything from carpenters, hairdressers, and if they hire locally, they get a 25% tax incentive back to the film industry. So they pay 25% less in salaries because they get that money back from the state. Does anybody have any questions regarding film?
You're so informative.
So I wanted to give y'all a few heads up on things that are going on in our city as far as infrastructure and streets. The new curbing and sidewalks are going in on High. East Sage sidewalks and curbs have been done. There are 4 LED solar lights that are being put in by Elm Park and 2 LED solar lights by Mesa Park. The street department has received, they got 2 new snow plows. They're new, good used snow plows, which we needed desperately. We did just get money from legislators to buy 4 new vehicles for the street department. So that did go up yesterday. The bid for that did go up yesterday. The Parks Department has gotten all the Christmas decor up. The 5th Street pump station is up, so it won't flood under the bridge any longer. And then 2nd Street, there has been a few delays on that, and if y'all have questions on that, Mark Teshima would be happy to answer them.
Yeah, so if you're wondering why we tore into our brand new road, we had a gas leak just off the side of the road. And so, yeah, the people responsible are paying for it. So it's no cost to the city, but it's just part of construction, unfortunately.
Did they, like, I used to be in the propane business, so I
Yeah.
know that we were required to sleeve pipes so that we wouldn't have to do that kind of thing like under homes and stuff like that. We just pulled a pipe that didn't happen.
No, in the main lines of the gas, there's no sleeping.
Oh.
There's no, yeah.
In the main line?
Maybe, yes, it was a 2-inch main.
Oh.
And it happened from the surface to the subsurface. The guy was getting ready to pour concrete and staked the ground and went smack dab in the middle of a 2-inch gas line.
Mark, can I ask you something about the sewer system? Since the new system, I haven't had any smells where I live, but I noticed outside Smith's grocery store,
Yes.
there's often a smell of the sewer there. Do you know anything about that?
No, so anytime anyone smells anything sewer related,
Yeah.
just give us a call because there's times where there might be a low spot in the pipe and every year you have to go through and you have to clean your lines.
Okay, but do you have the phone number?
Yeah. But yeah, let me get that to you.
You can also put a work order online under, if you go to the cityofgrants.net, on the front page you'll see online forms. Just do it under the street department because then Mark will see it and he'll give it to the appropriate department.
So when you call City Hall, there's a
Two-
wonderful lady by the name of Melissa.
287-7927, and I believe she's at extension 216.
Say it again?
287-7927, and I believe Melissa's at extension 216.
There we go. Okay, that's the number. I've got too many City of Grants numbers, so I forget which one's the right one. Very good. So talk to Melissa. She'll generate a work order, and the appropriate people will go out. Anytime you smell sewer, it's not a good thing, and we'll get on it. What area do you live, by the way?
Mount Taylor, between Zagalaris and Mesa.
Oh, very good.
So at the next manager's coffee, we'll be having a meeting and public hearing, and it will be for the CDBG suggestions for future CDBG, that's hard to say, projects. And there will be 3 meetings altogether. On December 17th at 10:30, there will be one at the Cibola Senior Center. January 2nd, it will be here. And then there will be another on January 2nd at 5 p.m. at the City Council chambers.
Can I add a little bit on that one?
Sure?
What does it mean?
The CDBG means Community Development Block Grant, and it's a big grant. It's a very successful grant. I've had lots of success. I think the city has too. It's a grant that we have we have to publish it very many times. We have to have the input of the people. It's not one of those things you can sit and just do. You have to get that input. So that's why those publishings are there, and we have to make sure that we give it out to everyone. So that's why we're trying to publicize it in proper places. But you can get millions if you have a really good
Will it
grant.
be in the newspaper?
Yes, it has to be in the newspaper. Yes.
It'll be in the newspaper, on Facebook.
Could you repeat the date and the time for the senior center one?
Sure. It will be the 17th at 10:30.
Okay. Thank you.
And then, oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke this. I couldn't read Don's writing, I'm sorry. January 2nd, we'll be here at 8 a.m. January 6th, will be at 5 p.m. at the City Council chambers.
What was the last date?
January 6th?
So the first one was January 17th,
No, December 17th.
or December 17th?
Mm-hmm.
And what sorts of things is that money used for?
That's why it's so wide. It can do drainage, it can do buildings, it can do, there's so many things. It's so open-ended, and we use COG. I know that city uses COG for their assistance as well. But you want to be really, it's hard work to do that grant. But when you get it, I've done drainage, I've done parking lots, all kinds of things for the CDBG. It's a good grant. So that's why we need the input, because that's when they will educate what it's on the ICIP, because we have to remember looking at the ICIP, what's on there, and then they'll prioritize. But we need people's input, because it's a very big grant, and it should affect a lot of people.
And the
Start
last
thinking.
Yes. The last thing I just wanted to bring up, I just wanted to remind everybody of upcoming events this weekend. We have the Rockabilly Light Parade on Saturday. That starts at Nimitz and goes down to Fire and Ice Park. And then they have the reindeer games also. You still have room for floats, correct?
Right.
So there are still room for floats. It's $25.
$10 float fee.
Oh, sorry, $10 float fee. And then the Grants Recreation Arts and Crafts Show is Friday from 6 to 9, Saturday from 10 to 6, and Sunday from 10 to 5. The Festival of Wreaths, and that's at Futures. The Festival of Wreaths for Roberta's Place is Friday from 6 to 9. That's at the Senior Center. Tickets are $15. And then on Saturday, you can go and have your picture or your pet's picture made with Elsa and Anna at Diamond G, and that's a fundraiser for the Animal Care Center emergency fund for the animals, which is Friends of the Animals. And that's Saturday from 10 to 12. Anything else I can answer for anyone?
I don't think we've had enough coffee. Okay, thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Anna Lawson on my end works with Chris with the census. So we've teamed up with Laguna as well. So they actually get together how many times?
We get together once a month, and then Anna and I also do trainings.
And they've been going out and doing a lot
Yeah.
of this sort of parades and stuff and festivals. So Anna's not here because she broke her arm. So we're missing her. She fell out of her brand new huge truck on the ice. So that's why she's not here. But they do work very well together, and I think it's going to be a really good success. With the going out into the areas that are very sort of rural, we've decided to utilize our fire departments. We have 8 out there. So we'll be having meetings in the fire departments with people that can assist, either help them on tablets to actually do the census application. So we're really trying to grab and educate, because it is important. The money is there. If we don't have the numbers, we're not going to be able to get that money. So I'm looking forward to seeing the difference between now and last time. I think it's going to be a big one. So if you got any questions, you can, Chris or Anna, they're on it every day. working with them. They are short-staffed, they're looking for people.
Volunteers. We love volunteers. If anybody would like to volunteer this weekend, I could definitely use help because Anna's gone.
Yeah.
As I said, Eileen Yarborough's been very nice, and she's going to do Festival of Reeds in the parade for me.
One of the different things that we did this year, what we received this year, is because they're trying to push it, they actually gave the counties and cities budget from the state. So we actually received money to promote, which is a very, usually it's an unfunded sort of, you got to do it. But this time we actually had to have a budget and application, and that's where we can actually hire some people on our end, and we can educate and go out there and do quite a bit that we weren't able to do before. So it was good. Okay, so I'm gonna go whoop whoop. Our audit is submitted, so it's into the state, which was a crazy week last week. So everybody's kind of relieved. We had our exit audit meeting, and because the hospital is a component unit, remember we were together. They had the same auditor, so they were at our exit also, which was it was actually a very good exit. By statute and law, I'm not allowed to discuss the audit until it's released by the state auditor, and that usually is around January. But I can tell you I was very pleased and very proud of what we've done. So we'll see what happens when it gets released, if they approve it. So it's good. Judy, everybody knows Judy. She's my project coordinator. She has been going to an academy that NMC, New Mexico Counties, have sponsored, and they paid half of it, and they invited one person from every county to attend this academy. And every month she goes for 2 to 3 days, and they bring people in to discuss opportunities and basically show everyone how much money New Mexico does not get because of there's a lot of reasons, but we need to educate, and we need to get the grants applied for, and how to do it, and how to be successful. This is her 4th month, and she's really loving it, and so I'm really pleased that she's loving it, because she's soaking it all in and learning and getting excited, and there's a lot of opportunities that she's wanting to just sort of go for. So I'm really happy that it's working out, so I'm really excited that what we're going to get out of that. We had our first workshop when did we have it, Joan? Tuesday, see, I slept. It was actually, we had a workshop and special meeting, and I'm going to say something about our commission meetings. Please come. We're boring now. Usually, when I first got here, it was packed. The building was packed, right? And now, we're boring. So please come, because it is interesting. We do get a lot of information out. But we'd love to see some other faces, because...
Are you talking about your regular council meeting?
Yes,
Will you let people know when they are?
yes, they're the 4th Thursday of every month at 5 o'clock. Those are our regular ones. This month, we're not having one. We actually did the special meeting with the workshop, but in January, we're having 2. We're having one the 1st Thursday and the 4th Thursday. So I was looking at my calendar. Has everybody got a calendar? So the first one's on the 2nd, and the regular one is on the 30th at 5. Yes.
So Kate, I used to go to those, but you can't speak unless, here it's so relaxed.
I know.
Talking all the time. And there.
It is
I
boring.
think things after I'm there, and I have no way to talk about them, so I stopped going. Do you-
I understand.
Follow Robert's Rules of Order?
Yes, we have to. We have to. And we have to get stuff done. It's a business meeting. A lot of approvals, a lot of action, a lot of, we have one meeting a month, so we have a lot of stuff to get done, so I can get direction from the commission, and it's the only time I see them all together. So we do a lot of business, and that's what it's there for. But there's a lot of business that it affects people. Ordinances that we're putting through. Yes.
One of the things I noticed our council members started doing after their meeting is they started lingering a little bit longer. So rather than just running out the door, because questions do come up throughout the council meeting, and in an unofficial capacity, and people can approach them and ask them
You need to
questions.
be
So
careful.
I don't know if that's.
We
something-
can't do that because that's actually violating the Open Meetings Act.
I
You need to
see.
be very careful.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't have a rolling quorum with 5 people in a building or 4, or the actual quorum, 3 people.
I see.
So we have to be very careful on that.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, if you've got any ideas, bring it and see if it works, and we can do it. But I do believe this is a much nicer setting. But we have to get work done, and the ordinance is really important. We're going to publish 2, and there's in the statute you have to publish, but you also have to have hearings, and that's when we need the public's input for the public hearings, and that's in our meeting, and it's the time when people can actually say, I agree with it, but I think this needs to be in there, or I don't quite understand this, and that's where we can actually change it and discuss it and get direction to change it. So those are really important parts of community outreach, really. So anyway, we did the strategic planning. I love those things because I have the commission on the same level as everyone, and we literally just discussed. We talked about all the things that we do as a county and how we're an umbrella, and we talked about all the things that we had to do. By statute, we have to take care of this, we have to do this, but the other things, and Joanne was there, I don't know, it was interesting, do you think?
It was very interesting because I didn't realize the real separation of what you're required to do versus what you do to help the
Extra.
community. I've been focusing on what we need as a community versus what the government actually has to do, so it was an interesting mesh of.
It was, and we had a lot of input, and the commissioners were able to, talk and tell us in public what people are asking them to do. So with that said, now we're ready to do a strategic plan, and that means that we've listened. I had Brandon from COG there, and he didn't present, he listened to what people were talking about and what their real needs they think are important for the county. So we're doing this because we're not reacting anymore. We're solid, we know where we are, we know where our money is. Now we've got to prioritize, and I need direction, so we're not going down roads. We're not reacting to everything that's happening. We need a plan, we need to figure out what's important. So one of the things that the county really needs to work on is our roads, and we have been, but we need to put more money into our roads. We need to pay our employees on the roads more. We need to take care of our people on the roads. We have not done that. It's our weakness. It's one of our biggest weaknesses. So that's going to be one of our big priorities. I can see that all commissioners are in agreement with that. So we'll be looking into how to do that and how to plan and how to keep going with those roads. We have 323 miles. We've been working on the list I call it, the maintenance list. The last meeting in January is when I will go to the commission to recommend the deletion of some roads and some addition of some roads. This is the first block that we've done. We've gone out, we've had a review, a review board, a committee, and now we're waiting on the committee to come back. We had to put signs up, we had to send letters to all residents. Any road that we were thinking of changing, they had a letter. They had time to, we sat down with some people to explain what we can do and what we can't do. I'm going to say it again, we cannot do a old commissioner's driveway, all right? We had to take some roads off because it was actually from an old commissioner's road. We cannot do that, all right? We're here for everyone, and so everybody's learning, and so please, it's a process. We cannot work on a road that we don't have easements for, all right? That's anti-donation. So anti-donation is another nightmare of county. When someone wants to put their road on the maintenance list, that's great, we'd love it. We'd like to do that, but we can't do it unless we have all the easements so we can actually work on the road. We can't do it just because Jack calls and says, I need my road done. You know, we can't do that. It's everybody's money, which we need to make sure that we have a process and we're consistent and we're fair. So with that, we have a committee, and we're working very closely together. Anna, myself, our attorneys. We're actually requesting 3 roads to be deleted. One road is actually we've been maintaining a road in the federal land in a reservation. You know, why is that? That's a weird one, right? Why would we be doing that? So those things have been happening because it's always been call up, react, do it, and then, oh, I've always had my road done. Well, you're not on the list, we don't have the easements, we don't own it. That doesn't mean we can't get it there, we've just got to go through the process. So if you have any questions, come on in, we can discuss roads. And I can explain all the nightmare process that we have to do. Let me see. So I did the addition. So, the road crew received finally their 2 brand new blades. And so they're very excited about that. They needed them. The old ones were breaking down a lot, so we leased 2. That means we get maintenance. It's very helpful. So Gary's really excited about that. So that's going to help us. Let me see. Happy Christmas. Any questions? Yes.
Just a question. I was wondering, the sheriff's department has been having a lot of problems with their vehicles.
Have
Is
they?
there any kind of plan to help them out so that they can get new vehicles?
We are working on that. We've been communicating with the sheriff. I think it's a miscommunication issue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think there's a little bit more to that than having a hard time. But we've given everything that they can possibly do to get it done, and they can get it done. We've just got to communicate a little bit better.
Well, they have to take 4 vehicles from McKinley County, used vehicles.
They didn't have to. They decided
They
to.
had to because they had
They
nobody else
have
to
money.
run with.
They have money. They
have
can
money.
absolutely.
Oh, really?
Oh yes.
That's interesting.
Yes, very interesting. They can purchase. They have a lot.
Yeah,
All right.
Is there any word on the refinery at all? Anything?
We are not on that.
No.
It's the economic development. They're working on that. I think they're on the 2nd phase. That's all I know for sure.
What is the second phase? I'm going to
$60,000 on the second phase. And I don't know when we expect the report, but I would think shortly after the first of the year. It's in with the consultant.
So as a local government, we really believe that it was imperative that the economic development took that drive for us. So they're the ones that are actually driving this, and I think it's the best place for it to be. Yes.
I shouldn't ask, but I will. I'm just curious because I go over to the hospital board meeting, and I understand there was some discussion this week at the commission meeting. There had been some proposed changes. Is this the operating
Management agreement.
management? Okay.
Yes,
Be
so-
clear on what they were
Thank you.
discussing.
Yeah, we had that executive session, and there was no action taken.
Right.
We just basically got an update from our legal. So our legal and the hospital legal are working together to get a healthy, strong management agreement for them to operate the hospital for the county.
Thank you for clarifying.
That's okay. It's just the management agreement. There's no, the purchase or the selling, that's not happening with what we learned and the component unit and state auditor and the everything. So we're back to, let's put what we need to help our citizens have a hospital, a healthy hospital, so they can upgrade when they need to. They can spend the money that they need to make sure that we are in compliance for a hospital. They have the money. We just need to make sure they understand that a management agreement, the county is giving that job to run the hospital to a certain entity, which is the hospital board. That means they do have the control of upgrading, utilizing the funds that they have. That's this. We as a county will never be good at running a hospital. We don't know that. You know, so that's why this is the way it has to be to make it successful. And we're just back and forth now. Legals are working. I know they've had meetings, and we just updated. Actually, I'm confident that we might be able to get this signed within the next commission meeting. So it's going really well. Yes?
You had talked earlier about, at a previous meeting, about consolidating all of the facilities.
Mhm.
How's that going?
It's okay. We're kind of on a halt right now because with the plan that I had before, we were going to sell the hospital. That stopped. We now we have some interest in the detention center built area. So that means that another prison is looking into purchasing it. So we're looking into that. We're opening our ears to that, to listen. Magistrate Court is in that building also. So they will be moving. They are going to be building their own new building. So that's going to be exciting. So that's kind of the plan. We've got to wait for them to be ready to leave. And the sheriff's office will be coming up here. We'll be working on some bids and some RFPs next year to get that building done. The 515, I've still not had I haven't had any direction from the commission of what they'd like to do with that. But yes, we have to consolidate. We're paying a lot of money. It's crazy, and we have enough space in that huge building that we're in. Dispatch will be moving around March.
Oh, good.
So that's the plan so far. So they're looking forward to that.
Are they the last component in the 515?
Well, yes and no. Dustin would not like me to say that, but yeah, Dustin's there also. But Dustin, we have space for Dustin also.
Very good.
So, yes.
And I heard a pretty well-informed person say that the county doesn't do anything. And I was really surprised to hear that. I'm wondering how could we get the word out? Because it seems to me you do a lot.
You know, we were talking about that. We were talking about how to educate and get the word out. And do you think it would help if I wrote an article in the newspaper?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. No, I will. I can do. You know what? I really have some time now. A little more time than I did because we was trying to, clean up a lot. So I think that might help. If you have any ideas, I really.
Well, that's what I was thinking of. If somebody would like an article or who I just update.
Unfortunately, when people say county or local government, they start cringing, because we have a reputation, I think, from long, that we're the big sort of monster, and it's changed in these years. It's changed to become a part of the community, help, assist. We've just got to have so many guidelines that we have to stick to. But I've learned that there's always a way. If we could just sit down and find that way, just because we say no doesn't mean that we can't find a way to make it happen. It might just take a little longer. So
I think one of the suggestions that was made Tuesday was that you conduct town halls.
that's right. Yes. You want to bring that up? That was a really good one. It was like the commissioners were saying, we have these outside areas and they feel very isolated. They feel like they don't know what's going on because everything happens in grants, right? Even economic development, and they feel like no one really cares very much about what's going on in there. So about 5-6 months ago, I actually directed Anna to go out and to talk to the community to find out what they're actually doing in economic development and what they're needing. It was unbelievable what we got back. Mm-hmm. What these small communities, Fence Lake, Candy Kitchen, El Morro, they are busy. They are so busy. Every weekend there's things going on. It's amazing what they've done on their own. So we want to help. You're talking about no internet. That's where the county can help, whether it's talking to the big companies, setting up meetings, telling them this is what they need, to go further. We have people are thinking about mobile meat processing for hunting. These guys have got some fantastic ideas, They just need some guidance and help. So that's what we're going to really be doing with Anna's help, where we're going to strive to go out there and really listen. They're going to teach us some stuff, especially with economic. I mean, I don't know how every weekend there's something going on in those small communities, which is really neat. But anyway, I'm learning on a daily basis.
Does the county not have representation on the Economic Development Board?
Yes, we do. It's Commissioner Lucero.
Does he report back to the commission?
Right now, he does not.
I mean, it's kind of odd that you guys don't know a lot that's going on when you have representation on that board.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I could request that he did it in his commission comments on the commission meetings.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have the most to gain in tax dollars if something happens in the county. It's like, you should be in the know of what's going on.
Right.
with
So,
economic development.
so I do know I have another person that actually we put sort of for a liaison, and that's Mr. Pines. And I have asked him to come to a commission meeting in January to do an update. So, but that was, we planned that quite a while ago. So, but yes.
I don't know if it's feasible, but I thought as a suggestion, when we have these county manager meetings, have department heads, one from each, come down here, give a 5 or 10 minute exposition on what they do, what they'd like to do.
We can.
So that you don't have, you guys don't have
Thank
to do
you.
everything like
So
that.
you notice I have brought some people sometimes, because I
Yeah,
wanted to know whether I think it's a benefit. Is it a benefit? Would you like that more?
But if you, from each
Yeah,
division, send them down a department head
Yeah.
or something.
that's a really good idea.
And secondly, I hope I speak for everybody here, I'm very pleased with the comments you guys make, that you've been able to talk face to face.
Good.
I think you guys are doing a good job, really, right now.
Good.
And,
I
I
think-
know nobody expects you to not do it, but you really brought our county up and our city up.
Well, we're enjoying it, and thank you. That's very nice.
We have good leadership. And her and Laura both.
We have crazy leadership. I'm crazy. I make people wear funny necklaces when they make mistakes. They're like- but thank you. Yes.
I just wanted to answer Scott's question. You also sat on the economic board as well as Walter Beach represents the county.
Yeah, I don't. I gave that seat to Lucero.
And Walter is also on that board.
The reason why is we have one person on the board, and Commissioner Lucero actually we had 2 commissioners that wanted to be on the board, and they actually voted, and Commissioner Lucero was the one that was appointed. So I was there because no one was going because of the mix-up of the commissions. Any other questions?
He's got my message.
Yes, thank you. If y'all could sign in, we would appreciate it.
Well, is everyone excited about Christmas? That's like me. Yeah, it's one of those sort of, I'm not ready. I haven't even started. Thank you very much. This is a really nice attendance.
Thank
This
you.
is great.